Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I'd like to talk to you about the Cozy Victorian Mini Capelet. That's what you see me wearing here today. I created this because it is the winter months and I wanted something a little bit warm but not too hot because I'm down here in the south. However, it is something that can be created pretty quickly. You can complete this project in roughly 2 evenings. And the yarn that I used was Homespun. And this is a 1 skein project, so this took 1 full skein and I had a little bit left over. You do not have to use homespun, I'm sorry, but you probably would want to use it with some other 5-weight yarn. So the detail on this, as you can see, it has a pretty high collar. And I do have this on what I'm calling the highest setting because we have eyelet rows. I created eyelet rows that are about 1 inch from the top. And so if you wanted a shorter collar, then you would just string your string into the top row up here, which is probably the way I will traditionally wear it. But I wanted a higher collar to show you guys because that's most of the folks that I know are crocheting are up north. And I'll also insert a couple of additional pictures so you can kind of see what the back looks like. But let me step up a little bit and so you can see it a little bit closer to give you an idea. But like I say, looks pretty good. And if you want to join me in creating this, stick around and let's get to it. For the items that we will need to make the Cozy Victorian Mini Capelet is a skein of homespun. This is a 5-weight yarn. If you do not have homespun or choose not to use homespun, any other 5-weight yarn will do. Just make sure that when we check the gauge that you're getting 10 half double crochet per 4 inches, and then you'll be on mark with what we're doing. Another yarn that would work really well, which I considered using, was the Red Heart Hoogie or Huggy. That would definitely work. So 1 full skein of that. You want a pair of scissors, and then a size K hook, whether it's Hobby Lobby or Clover or whatever you're using. All right, grab your supplies and let's get going. We're going to create a slip knot and loosely chain 58. For those people who are new to homespun or have a hard time finding stitches, you might consider going up a hook size to do this base chain, and then once we move into the second row, coming back down to the K. 57 and 58. Okay, that should have your chain. And now what we're going to do from here in the second chain from the hook, not the one on the hook here, the second chain on the hook here, we're going to single crochet in each stitch all the way across. And at the end of this row, you will have 57. And take your time on this. If you're new to homespun, just take your time and just look for those holes as they present themselves. "56 and 57. Make sure you get that last one in there. All right. And that's what it'll look like. A little bumpy, but that's what it's supposed to look like. All right. Chain 1 and turn your work. And now we want to do a single crochet all the way back across. So same process again, so for now it's going to be a little bit easier. You can see your V's on top and you can actually feel them. Okay, single crochet all the way across, and so you're going to end up with a count of 57 again. And there is the last single crochet of that row. All right, let's move on to row 3. Chain 2 and then turn your work. In this row, we're actually going to create the place for the rope to go into. And so we already have here, we're going to do a half double crochet in the next 2 stitches. There's 1. And then this one, half double crochet. Then we're going to chain 1, skip the next stitch, and you will have to feel for it, and then half double crochet in the next one after that. So skip 1 and then go into the next one. and then half double crochet in the next stitch, feel for it, chain 1, skip 1, and then 2, the next one's going to be a half double crochet. So your pattern across is 2 half double crochet, chain 1, oops, skip 1, and then 2 half double crochet, and you will do that all the way across. And when you get to the end, I have just put in my 2 half double crochets. I've chained 1, and that leaves me with 3 stitches. I will put a half double crochet in each of the last 2 stitches to complete that row. Don't forget to use your turning chain for the half double crochet. When this row is complete, you will have 39 half double crochets and 18 chain 1 spaces, and it'll look like that. Okay, let's move on to row 4. Chain 1 and turn. This is an easy row. For this row, what we're going to do is we are going to single crochet all the way across. And so we've already chained 1. Go into our stitch. We're going to single crochet in each stitch across, and then in each chain 1 space, we're going to put in a single crochet. So if you're following your pattern, right? So we should have 2 single crochet, right? And then in the chain 1 space, you're going to be putting a chain 1 in there, or a single crochet in there as well. .56 and 57. All right. Let's move on to the next row, which will be row 5. Let me switch my hook here. So row 5 is going to be an increase row. All right. So what we're going to do here is we are going to chain 2, and we're going to turn our work. Let me get over here so you can see. So we're going to do a half double crochet in the first 2 stitches. 1 and 2. And then we're going to put 2 half double crochet in the next stitch. 1 and 2. All right. And then next up, we're going to do half double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. 1 and 2. And then 2 half double crochet in the next. And so that's going to be your pattern across. Is going to be 2 half double crochet, 1 and then 2, and then 2 half double crochet in the next stitch together. And so it's going to total add of 18 stitches to your work. And so at the end of this row, you will have 75 stitches. You'll end up with 2 single half double crochets in the last 2 stitches. So 74 and 75. All right, let's move on to the next row. Next row, we're going to chain 2 and turn our work. And this is an easy row. You can start to see your curve starting to happen for it. Easy row. What we're going to do here is we are going to half double crochet in each stitch all the way across. And when you get to the end, you will still have 75. All right, 74. And again, don't forget your last stitch of that row, and 75. And now that we're done with this row, we are going to start on row 7. And what we're going to do for row 7 is we are going to repeat the eyelet row. And so we're going to chain up 2. And if you remember from the eyelet row, this is where we're going to half double crochet in the first 2. And then once that is done, we're going to chain 1, skip 1, skip 1, and then half double crochet in the next 2, and then chain 1 and skip 1 across. And 75, and that will finish off row 7. And for row 8, we're going to chain 2, turn our work, and this will be a row of half double crochet in each stitch across. So a half double crochet in each stitch, and then in half double crochet in each chain 1 space, and you will still have 75 stitches. And that completes row 8. Rows 9 and 10 are the same, and they are, you're going to chain up 3, turn your work, and then each stitch across the row, you're going to complete a double crochet. And so for row 9, you're going to go all the way across doing double crochets, and then when you get to the end of the row, down at the end of the row, you're going to do a chain 3, go up, turn back around, and do a second row of double crochet, and that will be rows for rows 9 and 10. And I'll put my last double crochet in here, and that finishes up row 10. Let's move on to row 11, and so we're going to chain up 3, and row 11 is going to be an eyelet row. However, instead of doing an eyelet with a half double crochet, you're going to do the eyelet with double crochet. And so if you remember from that row, the eyelet is going to be, you're going to do a double crochet in the first 2, and then you're going to chain 1, skip 1, skip 1, and then 2 double crochet, and that's going to be your pattern all the way across. 2 double crochet, chain 1, skip 1, and then 2 double crochet. So there is my last double crochet for row 11, and now we need to add some width to this guy. So you should be now, I'm going to pull this up for a second, it should be starting to look pretty good. Have a couple eyelets, and it should measure roughly about 5 inches. And that's where mine's at, a little over 5 inches. So now we're going to add some width to get it over the shoulder. So for the next 3 rows, we're going to repeat rows 9, 10, and 11. And so if you remember right, rows 9 and 10 were 2 rows of double crochet, and then we're going to do a row of eyelet. And so from here, we're going to chain up 3 and turn our work, and then we're going to double crochet into the next stitch there, and then double crochet in each of the chain 1 spaces, and then each of the double crochets all the way across. And when you get to the end, chain up 3, and then double crochet coming back, and then also, and for row 14, do another eyelet row. If you need support for that, go back to the video, and I'll have it marked in the video for for 9, 10, and 11. All right, that's starting to look pretty good. Last double crochet in that last stitch right there, and we are ready to move on to the next row. I believe we're on row 15. And so for this row, what we're going to do is we're going to chain up 4 and then turn our work. And this row is going to be a very simple row. What we're going to do is we're going to put a double crochet into your chain 1 space, chain 3, and then in the next chain 1 space put a double crochet, and that's going to be your process all the way across. Chain 3, double crochet in the chain 1 space, and when you get to the end of the row, way over here, when you get to the end of the row over here, you'll have your chain 1 space. You do double crochet here, chain 3, and then put your last double crochet right there, and that will give you 25 spaces across. Double crochet in that last stitch, and we're ready to move on to row 16. For this, we're going to chain up 4, 3, 4, turn our work. And this again is going to be an easy row. We're setting ourselves up for our finishing rows here. And in this first chain 3 space, complete a half double crochet, chain 3, and then in the next chain 3 space, put in a half double crochet. And then repeat that process all the way across. Chain up 3, half double crochet in the chain 3 space, and when you reach the end on the other side over here, you're going to do your chain half double crochet, chain 3, and land here, and then when you get to the sink it to the last hole here, instead of doing a chain 3, you'll do a chain 4, and then put your last half double crochet in your double crochet from round 15. I just finished my last half double crochet in the sinking hole from the end, so I want to chain up 4, 3, 4, and then the half double crochet to finish off this row. We are now ready to move on to row 17, which is going to be our final row. To do that, we're going to start by chaining 1 and then turn your work. Did you get all that? And then we're going to put a single crochet right back into that same stitch. And now in this first chain 3 space, we're going to put a double crochet, chain 1, another double crochet, chain 1, wrap twice, and we're going to do a treble crochet. Go in, back out, pull through once, pull through twice, pull through 3 times as your treble. Chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, and then a final double crochet, all in that chain 3 space. Chain 1, and then in the next chain 3 space, a single crochet, chain 1, and then repeat this process in the next chain 3 space. So that will be another double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, treble crochet, chain 1, and then 2 more double crochets with the chain 1 in between. Double crochet, chain 1, and then another double crochet, chain 1, and then in the next chain 3 space, a single crochet, and then a chain 1, and you're going to do that same process all the way across. And you will do that all the way across, and when you get to the end over here, this last space in here will have the two double crochet, a treble, 2 double crochet, and I will meet you here and show you what to do here. I've made it to my end. I've just put in my single crochet and the sink it to the last. I'm going to put in my double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, treble, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, and to finish off this row, we're going to chain one, and then right in the corner of that we are going to, right in here, we're going to put a single crochet. All right, and that leads us to our finishing. So it naturally kind of makes us around the corner, and so we're sitting right here. There's our point, and we're ready to do a finishing. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to go all the way around the piece and do half double crochets. So from here, we already started here, we're going to jump over and in here, and what we're doing is just finishing. So just do the best you can as far as placing in half double crochets all the way around the piece. And you're going to see, because we did a lot of chain up chain two, that you're going to see natural spaces to complete a half double crochet. And we're going up the side, and when you get to the top edge up here, put a half double crochet here, chain one to make it around the corner, and then continue across the top. There's 57 stitches here, and then when you get to the other side of the top, chain one to make it around the corner, and then you're going to do your last half double crochet right here before this guy here, before your motif here starts, and then you're going to bind off, and then we're going to make the tie. Alright, I am ready to put in my last half double crochet. Put that in there, and I'm going to clip that off. Alright, and now should have given you some nice finish work around, right? Giving you a nice curve at your corners to kind of complete that piece. Now we need to make the tie, and to make the tie is super easy. Grab your yarn and make a slip knot, and then you're just going to chain until you reach a length of roughly 40 to 45 inches. I actually made two ties. One is 40 inches and the other one is 45 inches, but just a chain of 40 to 45 inches, and then when you're done, bind that off, and then come back in here, and you have an option. You have your top row of eyelets, which is about an inch down, depending on how high you want your collar. If you want a short collar, put your weave it in through here. If you want a taller collar, which is where you see I have mine, weave it in through there, and you're just gonna basically, you guys know how to do this, just weave it in and out once you're completed, and then you're good to go. Just put it on and start enjoying it. It'll keep your shoulders warm. And that is what it looks like when it is completed. Looking pretty good there. Alright, so I will pop up other videos of other tutorials and where I actually got this yarn, the unboxing and the review of this yarn. And alright y'all, that's what I wanted to show you today. If you have any questions or comments, put it in the comments box below, and I will be happy to help you. Have a fantastic day.